The night Atlanta forgot to breathe. Flashbulbs cracked like thunder over a city drowning in gossip. Tiny Harris strutted out of the courthouse, chin up, silence sharper than any judge's gavel. Behind her, reporters shrieked her name, microphones shaking like they'd caught the Holy Ghost. She didn't blink. Didn't bother. The world already had the receipts. The lawsuit filed, the bomb dropped. A cool 100 million on the line in a secret hotter than hellfire? They called it crazy. They called it spite. But Tiny called it justice served with a smirk. Her lawsuit lit up social media like gasoline. Accusing hubby T.I. of using her money, her trust fund, to bury a sin too juicy to hide Shekinah Anderson's pregnancy. The betrayal? Straight out of Genesis. 3 names once sealed in fame, now roasted in scandal and silence. Outside, disbelief hung thick as perfume, cameras feasting on the fallout. Fans couldn't pick sides: Tiny, the wounded queen, T.I., the dethroned king, or Shekinah, the secret keeper turned storm. And in a city that worships fame but never forgives, one prophecy was certain: someone's empire was about to go up in flames. Within hours, Tiny's lawsuit nuked the internet. Every screen screamed the same headline: Tiny Harris sues T.I. for $100 million hidden pregnancy scandal exposed. Journalists dubbed it Atlanta's biggest circus since the courthouse leak. The fans, they just called it karma. But Tinio, she called it war. Behind the mansion gates that once echoed with laughter and late-night jams, Tiny Harris now lived in silence so loud it could break glass. Every tick of the clock felt like a verdict, every mirror a stranger's stare. The loyal wife who once defended T.I. through every scandal, rumor, and headline, gone. In her place stood a woman stripped, raw furious, fearless, and done pretending. She sat in her glossy living room, mountains of legal files spread across a marble battlefield, while her lawyer paced like a man defusing a bomb. Tiny, he murmured. Once this goes public, there's no rewind. Her voice barely a whisper, eyes steady as stone. It's already public. They just don't know the real story yet. Outside, paparazzi buzzed like flies, lenses glinting through the gates as her privacy died frame by frame. Across town, T.I. was already in war. Mode lawyers, PR, damage control. He'd weathered storms before, but never won this personal. This wasn't image cleanup. This was betrayal with teeth. In his studio, surrounded by flashing monitors and half-finished beats, he slammed his phone down. She actually filed it. His manager nodded. Full civil suit. Claims you used her money to pay Shekinah. T.I. laughed, short, bitter, dangerous. She knows that's not. He stopped. Silence. Then, cold command. Get ahead of it. Press release. Deny everything. Make her look desperate. Meanwhile, Shekinah Anderson sat in her dim apartment, her phone buzzing non-stop notifications, threats, gossip. She wasn't trending as the truth teller anymore. Now she was the villain, the mistress, the liar, the homewrecker. Every headline cut deeper. She didn't cry. She had no tears left. The city's chaos seeped through her window sirens, horns, whispers of judgment. She'd sworn she was done with the drama, done with the Harris saga, but somehow, it always found her. Maybe she was the cursor, maybe just the easiest one to crucify. Back in the mansion, her lawyer warned, once this hits court, they'll dig up everything: your money, your messages, your life. Tiny's reply was ice. Let them. I've lived under lies long enough. Time to dig for truth. But truth isn't clean, it's jagged, filthy, and cuts both ways. And as the story detonated online, justice and revenge blurred into the same blood-stained headline. Every TV in Atlanta couldn't get enough of the replay: Tiny Harris stepping from her black SUV, shades hiding, swollen eyes, brushing past a storm of questions. Did T.I. really spend your money? Was Shekinah pregnant? Are you out to ruin him? Her silence did the talking. Back in his studio, T.I. watched, fists tight. They're painting me like the villain, he hissed. His PR rep didn't blink, then give them a hero. But before he could blink, leaks started pouring: in-bank transfers, secret texts, and a grainy clinic photo of Shekinah that the internet dissected like forensic evidence. Every click another coffin nail. Tiny scrolled in silence. No posts, no tears. The quiet wife had finally vanished. In her place stood a woman, unbothered, unbroken, unstoppable. Across town, Shekinah Anderson drowned in buzzing phones, shady offers, and shame dressed as fame. The world flipped on her, and she knew it. Tiny's pain was real, but T.I.'s charm was a weapon. What terrified her most wasn't the truth, it was the world's version of it. That night, Tiny stared at the city lights, knowing the empire they'd built on love, loyalty, and lies had turned into a full-blown war zone. She scrolled through her phone, the headline glaring back like karma in bold: from power couple to war zone. Tiny Harris exhaled slowly. Oh, they wanted drama. She'd give them truth with a vengeance. For the first time in forever, she felt a flicker of peace, not from justice, but from finally dropping the armor she'd worn to protect people who'd never protected her. Sleep refused to come. The night dragged on, drenched in whispers and the cold glow of her phone. Every outlet had her story now dissected, twisted, sensationalized. The comments were chaos. Some calling her brave, others labeling her bitter, broken, unhinged. She finally placed her phone face down, but the noise followed her into the dark. Deep down, one question pulsed like a heartbeat. Had she gone too far, or not nearly far enough? Across town, T.I. stalked his studio like a ghost of his own empire. His lawyer, eyes glued to a tablet, didn't sugarcoat it. They've got transfers joint account. Private facility in Alpharetta. If that connects to Shekinah, it's game over. T.I. snapped. It won't. There's no proof it was for her. The lawyer's sigh was pure defeat. Proof or not, the optics are killing you. We need to rewrite the story. T.I. slammed his hand on the table. I am the story. But for once, even he didn't believe it. Meanwhile, Shekinah Anderson sat frozen in front of her TV, her name looping in every headline crawl. When the unknown number flashed, she answered against instinct. Ms. Anderson, purred a reporter from the scene. We've obtained a video from the clinic night. Would you like to comment before it airs? Her throat closed. That's impossible, she breathed. It's time-stamped, the voice replied smoothly. Click. She dropped the phone, hands shaking. The walls felt tighter. The air heavier. The walls felt tighter. The air heavier. By morning, Tiny's lawyer appeared, folder in hand. You'll want to see this before it leaks. Inside meals, payments, receipts. One froze her blood. T.I.'s signature beside a payment to a private medical consultant. So it's real, she whispered. Looks that way, he said grimly. If it goes public, they both burn. Tiny shut the folder, her stare like fire through smoke. Then let it burn, she said. Every last piece. That afternoon, T.I. strutted into his press conference like he was born under spotlights. Cameras swarmed. Lenses hungry. Flashes blinding. His suit was crisp, his shades hiding nights with no sleep. He forced that celebrity smile, the kind that says, I've rehearsed this lie 1,000 times. Let me set the record straight, he declared smoothly. These accusations are false, cruel, and deeply hurtful. My life stands on family, integrity, and love. This is all a misunderstanding that'll be cleared in court. I have nothing to hide. The reporters nodded like sheep, eating every word. But one lens stayed locked longer than the rest of live stream rolling comments, faster than his denial could keep up. Thousands watched unimpressed. Across town, Shekinah Anderson watched from her couch, tears slipping down her face. The man she once believed in looked polished, perfect, deadly calm. And that calm, terrified hurt meant war was coming. A knock at her door made her flinch. Her cousin stood there, envelope in hand. This came for you. Inside one grainy photo from the clinic hallway, Shekinah eyes red, and behind her a shadow shaped too much like T. Her chest tightened. Somebody was playing chess, and she was the pawn. My nightfall. The internet had its next obsession, a muffled recording, unmistakably T.I.'s voice. Handle it quietly. Make sure she's taken care of. Nobody finds out. No proof. No context. Didn't matter. Within hours, #handle it quietly was everywhere. Tiny Harris's name blew up again. T.I.'s PR team scrambled like rats on a sinking ship. Shekinah shut off her phone, the city closing in like a cage. The truth had escaped Anne now. It was feral. Back in her mansion. Tiny stared out the window, city lights dancing in her eyes. Her lawyer's voice crackled through the phone. They want to settle, drop the public angle, take the money. She didn't even blink. No, she said. This isn't about a payout. It's about proof. Her voice wavered, but only once. He took my money. He took my peace. I'm taking my story back. Rain hammered T.I.'s car, like karma knocking on the windshield. Engine off, eyes hollow. He replayed that cursed recording again and again, searching for a loophole, a glitch, anything to prove it was fake. But it wasn't. He remembered that night too clearly, the panic, the cover-up, the decision that broke everything. I was protecting everyone, he muttered, but even he didn't buy it anymore. The words hit the air dead outside. Atlanta slept while a late-night radio host murmured like prophecy. This isn't a scandal, it's a reckoning. Across the city, living rooms glowed with curiosity and judgment. Everyone waited for the next leak, the next betrayal, the next fall from grace. In her mansion, Tiny Harris stood still, watching chaos swirl like a storm she'd finally stopped running from. She understood now truth doesn't set you free, it strips you naked. But this time, she didn't flinch. She was done hiding, even if it cost her everything she'd ever loved. Meanwhile, in a dim apartment, Shekinah Anderson whispered into the dark, "It's not over, not yet." And she was right. By morning, Atlanta was ablaze again. The leaked audio had detonated the internet. Tiny's lawsuit was no longer just legal drama, it was religion, gossip, and blood sport rolled into one. The world split in two. Those who believed her and those who worshipped him. The Harris empire, once golden, was crumbling in real time. At her kitchen counter, Tiny sipped her coffee like a warrior on no sleep. Her lawyer's voice echoing through the speakerphone. "They've filed a counterclaim. They're saying you faked the tape," she chuckled, low and tired. "Of course they are." Her eyes stayed on the headlines scrolling across her tablet. T.I. fights back. Tiny's lies exposed. The question mark was the media's shield, but the mockery was loud and clear. "Let them talk," she said quietly. "They've been talking my whole life." Across the city, T.I. sat in a conference room thick with panic, disguised as professionalism. His PR team buzzed like hornets, spitting out damage control strategies. "We spin it," one said eagerly. "Play the victim. Family man under attack, faith, fatherhood, redemption arc." T.I. rubbed his temples, voice low and bitter. "Nobody's buying that anymore." Another voice cut in, sharper. "Then we pivot. Paint her unstably, emotional, bitter, vindictive." His head snapped up. "She's the mother of my kids." The room froze. For a second, something almost human flickered behind his eyes. But the PR agent leaned forward, tone icy. "She's also the one suing you for $100 million. Compassion doesn't trend. Drama does." Meanwhile, Shekinah Anderson hadn't stepped outside in days. Curtains drawn, phone silenced, world collapsing through a screen. Her face was everywhere, talk shows, gossip blogs, endless hashtags dissecting her life like a crime scene. Every headline twisted her story tighter. She missed the days when fame was fun, when friendship meant something. Now it all smelled like smoke and regret. Then, a notification blinked a message from an unknown account. "We know the truth. Meet us tonight alone." Fear crawled up her spine, but curiosity drowned it out. That night, she drove through pounding rain to an abandoned parking lot behind a diner. A hooded man emerged from the shadows. "You don't know me," he said quietly, "but I used to work for him. You think you know what happened. You don't?" He handed her a flash drive. "Watch it. But once you do, there's no going back." Her voice trembled. "What's on it?" He met her eyes. Proof. Then he vanished into the night. Back home, Shekinah's hands shook as she plugged in the drive. The screen flickered grainy, time-stamped footage from the same clinic in the photo. The camera caught her walking down the hall, then a shadow stepped in beside her. The face turned, T.I. handing an envelope to a nurse. His voice faint but undeniable. "Handle it quietly." Her breath hitched. The leak wasn't fake. It was the truth, and it was about to destroy them all. By morning, the clip had surfaced online. Someone had sent it anonymously to every major outlet. The internet went nuclear. #handle lit quietly was trending again, now with video proof. Tiny's phone exploded with calls, messages, media requests. Her lawyer's voice was breathless. "You won," he said. "He's finished." Tiny didn't smile. "Nobody wins," she said softly. "Nobody wins," she said softly. By dawn, the internet detonated. The clip had dropped in anonymously to every major outlet manned. Within minutes, the world was on fire. #handle little quietly surged back to life, this time with video proof. Tiny Harris's phone lit up like a war zone calls. Texts, interviews, chaos. Her lawyer's voice came through, breathless with disbelief. "You did it. He's done." But Tiny didn't smile. "Nobody wins," she said softly. "Not in this mess." Across town, I watched the footage in silence, his reflection ghosting across the screen, eyes empty, face drawn. The man in the video didn't look cruel, just cornered. "It was supposed to stay buried," he muttered. "But fame has no grave deep enough." By sunset, reporters had laid siege to every gate and driveway in sight. T.I. "Are you losing your endorsements?" "Tiny, will you settle?" "Shekinah, are you pressing charges?" The shouts blurred into white noise. Their pain had become primetime entertainment.
He even
Their
claimed
heartbreak
T.I. left him to
gold.
struggle in the hood.
That
But
night,
here's the
Tiny
kicker.
drove through
The media
quiet, rain-slicked streets, headlights cutting through the fog. She stopped outside the courthouse. The birthplace of the chaos and stood beneath a flickering streetlight. "Was it worth it?" she whispered. Somewhere deep inside, a small, fierce voice answered, "Yes," because silence had been killing her long. Before the truth ever did, she got back into her car and disappeared into the night. Miles away, T.I. sat alone in his studio, staring at a blank screen. He started typing maybe lyrics, maybe confession, maybe apology. But forgiveness? That wasn't trending anymore. And in a dim apartment across town, Shekinah Anderson powered down her phone, deleted the noise, and sat in the kind of silence that feels like mourning. The truth was out, but it hadn't set anyone free. It had only branded them all. 3 souls burned by the same secret they tried so hard to bury. Outside, Atlanta's skyline burned gold against the night, beautiful, broken, and wide awake. This wasn't the end hell. It wasn't even the intermission. Because if this circus has taught us anything, it's that fame has no loyalty, and truth doesn't play nice. Tiny Harris's $100 million lawsuit shook the whole industry. But the aftershocks. Just getting started, every new headline, every whispered rumor keeps echoing the same question. Who was lying and who was just trying to survive? Was Tiny the betrayed wife finally clawing back her justiceor, a woman blinded by rage? Did T.I. really funnel her money to cover Shekinah's secret, or was he just another star eaten alive by his own image? And Shekinah Anderson, was she collateral damage, or the quiet puppeteer pulling her own strings? The internet split down the middle. Half say Tiny ripped the mask off the industry's fake perfection. The rest call her vindictive for dragging her empire through the flames. But whichever side you pick, one fact stands tall. The Harris legacy will never glitter the same again. So, your turn. What's your verdict? Was this love gone toxic? Betrayal gone viral? Or just power playing its favorite game? Tell us in the comments whose truth you believe. Smash that like if you think the truth always wins. And share this story if you know no secret stays buried forever, because in a world built on filters and facades, only one thing's certain: the next chapter's already being written. And it's darker, messier, and way more dangerous than anyone's ready for. Stay tuned. The truth hasn't finished talking.